very good day everyone. So today we will learn how we can transform data into an exciting dashboard inside Power BI. As you can notice over here, this is our Power BI desktop. In the Power BI desktop, we can create interesting and exciting visualization. So first, let us understand what is our data for today. So as you can refer over here, this is our data. So we have a students, we have the subjects, we have their respective marks and grades. So for example over here, we do have a student named Kale for subject English and his marks is 56. So 56 meaning to say he passed. So like this, we do have a several data for the students and subject and their respective marks. So if just say I'm a teacher or a lecturer and I want to create a visualization where I can do some analysis based on the student performance and also the subject performance. So first thing is, I go to the Power BI desktop. In this Power BI desktop, we do have an icon called Excel Workbook. So under the home ribbon, there's an icon called Excel Workbook. This icon refers to that we can actually import data from the Excel Workbook. So I click this icon over here, a box will appear. So in this particular box, it will ask us which file that we want to choose. So I'm going to choose this file, 19 September, and I'm going to press OK. So the moment I press OK, you will notice that it will load to the Power BI desktop, and after that a box will appear. So as you can see over here, a box has appeared. So in this particular box, we just click the tab student marks, and automatically this is the data that we want to import to the Power BI. So I press load. So when I press load, it will load this data to the Power BI desktop. So the next thing what I'm going to do is, I just want to create a slicer. As you can refer over here, this is our data. So based on the given data, I want to create a slicer for the students and also the subjects. So now first thing is, I create a slicer. So a slicer will appear and I will choose students. So this is the students slicer. So based on a slicer, the slicer can help us to make selection. For example, if I want a particular student name, I can just click the student and automatically the data will be reflected accordingly. But instead of vertical list, I want to create a drop-down list. So how we can actually change this slicer? What we do is, we go to format your visual. We go to format your visual. Under format your visual, there's an icon slicer settings. We click here, and then what we do is we choose drop-down. So I'll choose drop-down over here. Let me adjust the orientation. I'll make it bigger, and there you go. So now we do have a drop down for students. So I want to copy this and I want to paste it, so that now we have two different drop down. One is for the students and another is for the subjects. So I'll remove students and I'll take the subjects. So we have two different slices, one for students, one for subjects. The next thing is, what I do is I insert a graphic card. So I click this card over here, and then based on this card, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new measure. So a new DAX. So DAX is data analytic expression. So in the DAX, what I'm going to do is I want to create a dynamic or a automated title. Meaning to say, I'm going to go to this new measure. So this measure, I'm going to put it as title. I'm going to put here apostrophe. I'll say exam performance of, and then space, and then n select data. So this selected value will choose data based on the slicer or an alternative title. So let me click this. So we do have column name and also alternate result. So first thing is, I'm going to choose the students, and then I'm going to press comma, and I'm going to put here as every students, close apostrophe, close bracket. And then what I do is I press n, and then I just put apostrophe in, apostrophe n, and then what I do is I do selected value again, and then I'm going to choose this time for subjects, and I'm going to put is every subjects, close apostrophe, and then there you go. So now we do have a new measure named title, whereby exact performance of a student's name in the particular subject. So now let me click this. So now we do have this title. So I don't want this label over here, so I just double click this and I press spacebar, enter. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to extend this. It's too big, all right? But never mind, let me extend the size. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I want to go to the callout value, and then instead of 45, maybe I just make it as 36. Okay, so there you go. I adjust this and I put it on the top, and there you go. Okay, so now if they say I click a student name, just say Kale. So when I click Kale, you will notice that the title changes to exam performance of Kale in every subjects. But if they say I click here, okay, instead of every subjects, I want to know about geography. So we see the title changes exam performance of Kale in geography. So basically we can actually automate the title. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to clear filter, and I want to clear filter over here. The next step, what I'm going to do is I want to create a bar chart. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create this bar chart over here. Okay, this is the bar chart. Okay, and I'm going to put it over here, and I want to click the grades and also the marks. Okay, so we do have the grade like pass, average, and fail. And what I'm going to do next is I want to create a card again. So I'm going to create this card, and I want to adjust the size over here. Okay, and maybe just adjust accordingly. This size, this time I'm going to put the marks again, but not the sum of marks. I'm going to choose the minimum. Okay, so we have minimum, and instead of minimum I'm going to put as lowest. Okay, and I'm going to copy this and I'm going to paste. So now we do have another data. Let me adjust the size accordingly. Okay, so now we do have another marks, but this time instead of minimum I'm going to choose maximum. So now we have the maximum data, and I want to rename this as highest. Okay, so this is the highest, and I'm going to copy this and I want to paste it over here. So this is lowest, highest, and this is I'm going to put as average. Okay, so I'm going to name this as average. Okay, so instead now we want to make it a consistent. So if you notice over here there is no decimal places, so here so I don't want decimal places, so I go to format your visual, I go to callout value, and then instead of auto I just put as none, and I put as none as well. So now we have the data accordingly. So now you just say I click just say here Arif, so we can see that Arif has the lowest mark of 48 and he has a highest mark of 91. So Arif, based on every subject, he get the average of 64. And now if just say I go to click Adib, so if you notice over here Adib in every subject he gets the average of 59, highest 79, lowest 46. But if just say you don't want to evaluate the students, you want to evaluate based on the subjects, so we can actually choose, for example, accounting. So we notice that accounting, the lowest person got 38 and highest got 86. And for the accounting subject, we notice that there's an average of 56 marks. So this is how we can prepare the data. Okay, but now what we do is we upkeep the cosmetic. So let me change the color. I go to effects, I put it as dark blue. Okay, I go to visual, I choose white color. So now we do have this data, and then this data over here, what I'm going to do is I want to change this color as well. I go to general, I go to effects, and I change to maybe light blue. Okay, and the writing also I want to change to bold black. So now we do have this, and the color label also I put it as black color with the writing of just say 20. So now we notice who is the lowest, and the same thing over here and this thing over here. So we do have this color over here and these bars over here. What I'm going to do is I want to change the color as well. So I'm going to choose general. I'm going to click this and I go to data bars, I on, and I'm going to increase the size. The values I want to increase to just say 15. So we have a size of 15, and then at the same time I also want to change the bars to dark blue. So now we do have this data over here, and instead of sum of marks we want to say the marks. Okay, maybe I'll just put as the count of marks because we want to see how many people got So we notice that 6 people got pass and 2 people fail. So I'll just say, I'll put here exam performance. Exam performance by grade. So this is the data. So we notice that for accounting, we do have 2 people fail, 6 people pass, average 1, and good only 1% get good marks. But if just say we want to remove, we want to clear all this, so we notice that 27 people got pass their subjects, and some of them got 16 in their certain subjects got average, and then few people got fail their subjects, about 7 different subjects. Okay, so the next thing is, if you notice over here, this particular graph is not properly sorted. Meaning to say, we do have a data, it should be sorted from fail, pass, average, good, excellent. But the problem is, this data is not properly sorted. So now what we can do is, we can actually enter a data. So I'm going to enter a data over here. I'm going to create a new table basically. So this box will appear. So I'm going to write here over here is the grade. Okay, I'm going to follow this grade, and then I'm going to write here. So first thing is fail. Okay, I'm going to write here fail, and then I'm going to write here pass, average, and then I'm going to write here as good and excellent. Okay, and then I'm going to add another column. So in this column, I'm going to write as sort, and I just want to write here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So automatically the data will be loaded, and then so I'll go to the model view. So now we do have the data. So basically a relationship has been formed between these student marks and also the table over here. It is actually many to one relationship. So now I go to this report view. So since a relationship has been created, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this grade over here. So once I put my cursor over here, I select over here, you will notice that a column tools bar will appear. So I'm going to sort this column. Instead of grade, I want to sort it by sort. Okay, so it will be sorted by the sort. Sort means meaning by the number. Okay, I want to click over here. Okay, instead of this bar chart over here, and instead of this grade, I want to select this particular grade. Okay, so now we do have this data, and now it is arranged properly. So instead of fail pass, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on these 3 dotted lines or more options, go to sort axis. I want to select by grade, and then over here you notice excellent, good, average, pass, fail. Alright, so let me adjust the size, doing some upkeeping. So I want to go to the y-axis. Instead of 9, I put 15, and I want to put it as black color. And the same thing for x-axis, I want to put it as 15 as well, and I want to put as black color. Okay, so now we do have this data. Alright, so we do have this data for the x-axis and y-axis. So this is our data. So if just say I want to know the student performance of just say Tarvinder. So when I click Tarvinder, you'll notice that the title changes, which is exam performance of Tarvinder in every subjects. And then you can refer over here, Tarvinder has the lowest of 38, which means he has failed one subject, and he has an excellent result where he got 92 for a particular subject. So overall, Tarvinder has an average of 63 in his 6 different subjects, meaning to say he has 1 excellent results, 2 average, and 2 pass performance, and he has only failed 1 subject. So if just say I want to know the performance of Arif, so when I click over here, it will show me that Arif has performed well, whereby he has a lowest of 48 in a one particular subject, and he has good marks and also excellent marks for 2 different subjects. So basically this is how we can create an exciting visualization in the Power BI. If you look here, this is our original data. So from here it is hard for us to understand, interpret and analyze based on the student and subject performance. However, with given this data over here, since there is a visualization in our Power BI, we can understand who is the highest, who is the lowest, and what is the performance as well.